Powerpuff Poonam, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Mareesha.
You know, you're a doctor, you're a nutritionist, you're an educator, you're a coach. इतनी ज़्यादा पढ़ाई कैसे कर लेते हो आप?
बचपन से ही I had a dream to become a doctor.
And you're so young. And you look even younger.
Thank you.
Is that genes or is it because of the fact that you are a nutritionist, you know how to maintain that right diet?
What you eat and how active you are is totally going to change your shape, your size, everything.
Amazing hot body pictures that I see of yours. You achieved that in 6 months. I'm curious to know, mental game इसमें कितना contribute करता है towards somebody's good health and bad health?
As far as my experience is, people who are strong here can be strong here. That's what I personally believe.
Tell me, when you go for these competitions, कितने supportive है Indian families towards girls who want to, you know, take part in these kind of championships?
When you tell your parents or when you tell your siblings that you're going to be wearing a two-piece on stage, they'll be like, no.
Yes.
No way. But then as they kept seeing my, determination and the hard work that I had put in, they somehow got convinced and they're like, no, you can do this.
Fitness and championships later, but you're actually going to survive and be alive.
Is the most lowest phase I can say of my life.
Achha.
And I would like to take this opportunity of this beautiful platform in letting women know that if you're having painful periods and if you feel that this pain is affecting your quality of life, you should understand that this is not normal.
Take me through that entire phase of your life. A big hello to my lovely friends from the space of events and entertainment and all those who've been listening and watching my podcast. I'm sure the lives of the event industry professionals is truly inspiring you all, and really want to thank you all for the amazing feedback that we've been getting. This episode's guest is actually not from our industry, but her life is absolutely an inspiration. In our field of events and entertainment, what we have noticed is as the years are going by, as we're getting more and more exposure, and so are the clients, overexposure is actually a mandate now. चाहे वो Insta हो, Pinterest हो, Google हो, हर चीज के बारे में सबको ही सब कुछ पता है, ऐसा उन्हें लगता है. But the reality is, technically लोग नहीं समझ पाते हैं. But we, as a part of the event industry, are constantly fighting this battle. But you know what is very stressful? When you're fighting a battle, but you actually don't know who is the opponent. In our case, our opponent is sometimes our client itself, sometimes our vendors, sometimes the artists, because they all are eager to share things, sometimes misinforming the clients too. In all this constant battle, what we have noticed in the last few years, especially after COVID, is that we are all getting into a space of unhealthy living, जहाँ पर हम constantly भाग रहे हैं, हम constantly कुछ achieve करना चाहते हैं और सब कुछ जल्दी करना चाहते हैं, हमें सब कुछ चाहिए अभी. और इसी लड़ाई में, the only person who is actually not winning the battle is we ourselves. हम हमारी हेल्थ को बहुत ज़्यादा इग्नोर करते हैं. शायद हम हमारे खुद के सेल्फ को इतना ज़्यादा सीरियसली नहीं ले रहे हैं. We're taking our mind, body and soul for granted. Talking to the guest today has helped me realize we need to put a stop to it. She's a nutritionist, fitness coach, life coach, and winner of several championships for bodybuilding. Here is someone who has gone through adversity but learned to pick up herself, retrain, regain the confidence, fight battles that just seemed impossible. She's also spent a lot of time in this podcast helping me understand how we, as members of the event fraternity, can try to take better care of ourselves why health and fitness is so important, what are the small hacks that we can do in order to maintain the balance, something that we don't end up doing. बहाने तो हम सब बना सकते हैं, लेकिन इस पावर पफ के साथ बातें करके मुझे रियलाइज हो गया, नो मोर एक्सक्यूजेस, इट हैज टू बी अ केस ऑफ आई विल डू इट नाउ. लेट्स लिसन अप टू Powerpuff, Poonam Vichare. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Mareesha.
See, there are people like me जो एक किताब पढ़ने से ही हमारी हालत टाइट हो जाती है. You are somebody who has totally believed in educating yourself. You're a doctor, you're a nutritionist, you're an educator, you're a coach. इतनी ज़्यादा पढ़ाई कैसे कर लेते हो आप?
So basically, बचपन से ही I had a dream to become a doctor. So I knew that it is going to come with a lot of responsibility and with a lot of, hard work and reading a lot of heavy books. So वो mental preparation पहले से ही था, but then slowly and gradually, once you start, dealing into the subject, automatically you start getting more and more interest in it. And because medical is a continuously evolving kind of field,
yes,
you need to stay updated with every new topic, new disease, new medicines that keep coming. Yeah. So it was moreover like, falling in love with something that I was doing. And eventually, I became a doctor.
And is it a clear story of family में सब doctors, engineers है तो?
Not at all. In fact, I am the first medico of my family. Yeah, basically, moreover, everybody is into the engineering field. There's nobody who belongs to even a paramedic field. So yeah, I'm the first person belonging to a medicine field. Yeah.
Oh gosh, and you're so young, and you look even younger.
Thank you.
Is that genes, or is it because of the fact that you are a nutritionist? You know how to maintain that right diet.
Yeah, partly I may say I can thank my mom and dad for the genetics. But then yes, I think gene is just like a seed that is sowed into you, But then how much of it is watered, how much of sunlight, and how much of, a good environment you provide to that is going to make that, seed turn into a sapling and a full-blown tree. So in my case, yes, definitely I always had this passion towards becoming fitter and staying in shape and all of that. But then, yes, what you eat and how active you are is totally going to change how you look and your shape, your size, everything.
What we eat, I think, clearly shows on our face.
Totally.
Whether it's the cheeks or it's the smile.
Yes,
Acha
totally.
khana, tasty khana brings a smile also on the face.
I agree. I totally agree that.
So are you somebody who is able to today, after having, got it all right, are you able to define your cheat day with lots of pizzas and vada pavs, or there's no scope to cheat?
Frankly speaking, I am not very fond of pizzas. Yeah, vada pav is something which I may fall for. जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं, यहाँ मैं पिघल गई types. So, yeah, but then as I said, I need to lead by example and I can only preach what I practice.
Yeah.
So I need to be careful with what I eat. But yeah, once a while, I don't think, there's any harm, including something which you like in moderation. That's absolutely cool.
It's absolutely cool. Dr. Poonam, I have seen your videos and it is so inspiring. आप जितना weights उठाती है ना, वही शिद्दत से कुछ लोग होते हैं हमारी तरह जो दोनों हाथों से खाना उठाते हैं एंड वी कांट स्टॉप आवरसेल्व्स. और हमारी इंडस्ट्री में ऐसा होता है इन इवेंट्स, जब टाइम मिला तब हम खाते हैं. सही टाइम पे खाना इज Not
Very
even
difficult.
an option. क्योंकि सही टाइम पे तो गेस्ट खाते हैं, क्लाइंट खाता है, सबको खिला के हमारी बारी आती है. So it gets so tricky. और फिर वो रात को 12 बजे रूम सर्विस में, it is so tempting to order the French fries and the chicken biryani because you feel यार इतनी मेहनत की है यार, let me feel good about myself. Tell me, what is your day like? Do you start off very early and do you sleep on time, or does your work not allow you?
Waking up morning is something which is fixed because I have my scheduled calls in the morning.
Oh.
So काम के लिए उठना ही पड़ता है. Rather, I would say just to make myself disciplined, मैंने वो calls सुबह के schedule किए हैं ताकि मैं सुबह उठ सकूं. I was never an early riser because मेरी school 11 o'clock होती थी. So you know, आराम से 9 बजे उठ के 2 घंटे में फटाक से I would get ready and go to the school. But then to break that habit, I had to do something about it, and that's why I scheduled my calls in a way that I wake up in the morning at around 7, not too early, but yeah, 7 o'clock utke, I just get ready, I take my calls, and then in the afternoon, that's the time where the gym is least crowded. So I don't have to wait for a lot of time to use the equipments, and I can finish my workout like in 2 hours, then come back, have a quick shower, have my meal, and take rest. So that afternoon nap is something which is like a, you can say, charging mode for me.
Wow.
So if I have to sustain the remaining second half,
Yes.
I need to take that afternoon nap.
And that nap is for how long?
It could be anywhere between 1 to 1.5 hours.
Oh my God.
And after that, I take my evening calls
Okay.
again. And then again, I go for a walk post dinner. And that's when I actually get time to take my family or my friends, and you know, I can actually talk to them. Usually my calls are all work related calls. So this is like my me time, my personal time. And yeah, I spend that with my family. And that's how my day ends.
These calls that you are referring to, clearly they are taking more time of your life.
Totally,
So
yes.
who are these people who are calling you?
So basically, I have a huge clientele base,
Huh.
and I have clients overseas as well.
Okay.
So I have to make sure that, you know, there is a mutually convenient time zone that we connect at. So there are people from, you know, CST time zone, EST time zone, so different time zones. So I have to kind of, you know, do those calculations and make sure that even they are at convenience, and then connect with them accordingly. So we have a weekly update calls where we track the progress of the clients, how much progress they've made, if they have any concerns and challenges following their diet, following their training routine, and that is then kind of, you know, altered, you can say, on week to week basis.
Excellent. And this means that ye consultation hai,
Yes.
in which the nutrition and the diet plan that you've given them, whether they're following that or not, and you have to constantly monitor it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Because I feel, I genuinely feel that, see, clients, when they come to you, they do not come to you for plans. They may get a plan anywhere. You Google it and you'll get a diet plan and a workout plan for free without any charges. But why people come to you is for your time, for the customization. And, you know, they feel connected with you. They feel like, oh, my coach has been there right from the beginning until the end. You know, that's why they come to you. And that's what they pay for. So you have to make sure that, you know, they're getting the genuine service.
Yeah, true. And I'm curious to know, mental game इसमें कितना contribute करता है towards somebody's good health and bad health? How much of the mental stress that one goes through? And do your patients actually vent it out and share things with you like they would have gone to a therapist and done? Does that happen?
Firstly, I would like to thank you for asking this question, because mental health is something which is the most underrated thing, I feel. And basically, physical and mental health is just one entirety. You cannot separate them, you know, they are interdependent. And I would tell you, as far as my experience is concerned with, you know, dealing for more than 1,000 clients now, it is just the name says physical fitness, but it's all about your mental strength, your agility, your flexibility, your ability to take stress, to deal with the stress, and to stay stronger. People who are committed, people who are strong here can be strong here. That's what I personally believe. And vice versa. So your physical health, mental health, both are interdependent. You should just find out one area where you're stronger, stick to it. And in the long run, you automatically get stronger in the other side as well.
Interesting. And when you say one area, what does that mean?
So basically, somebody may be not physically fit, but mentally they are determined, you know, to achieve a particular goal. Or maybe somebody who is physically fit and mentally does not feel good about it, you know. There are people who have six-pack abs, but they're not happy with it. Right?
Yeah.
And there are people who are weighing more than 100 kgs, but they're very happy-go-lucky. So you need to find out where your happiness is, where you're mentally stable or where you're physically stable, and try to work on the other area.
Other areas. Oh my God. You know, Dr. Poonam, I think so many people who are listening to us right now, especially those from the event industry, are really wanting to understand one thing, that with careers such as ours, you know, the profession jo hum select karte hai, and event industry is, I think, the third most stressful profession in the world. जिसको somehow I feel हम खुद taken for granted ले लेते हैं. पहले जिस चीज़ को हम excitement समझते थे, आज की जो generation है, the new generation that has come in, they call it anxiety. And the same feeling is taken in a negative way today. I want two parts of advice. So my first question to you, for these youngsters जिसको genuinely मैं बोलती हूँ ना, हम लोग बोलते हैं wow this is insane, हमें पता नहीं next minute क्या होने वाला है, और वही चीज़ उनके लिए एक block हो जाती है कि मुझे पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है, you know. So that kind of a thing, how does somebody deal with the new generation who is probably, we feel, overanalyzing that same rush, you know, that adrenaline rush that we call, and how do you deal with a youngster who's in this industry?
All right. So basically, see, I would call, just like you said, adrenaline rush, I would say there are two rushes. One is adrenaline rush, the other one is cortisol rush. So cortisol kya hai basically? Cortisol is just like a stress hormone. So whenever your body is under stress, आपका cortisol levels increase होते हैं. And which doctors usually say कि अच्छा नहीं है आपके लिए, cortisol is getting, you know, it's going up. तो I feel कि अगर किसी को स्ट्रेस से दूर रहना है, यू वांट टू स्टे अवे फ्रॉम स्ट्रेस, यू वांट टू एंजॉय समथिंग दैट यू आर डूइंग, आपको किसी के भी दूसरे के ड्रीम्स को ब्लाइंडली फॉलो नहीं करना है. आज के जनरेशन का प्रॉब्लम क्या है, उनकी क्लियर विजन नहीं होती है. एक तो वो किसी और के ड्रीम को फुलफिल करते. इट कुड बी ईदर देयर पेरेंट्स ड्रीम कि पापा ने बोला है, वो खुद डॉक्टर है, उनका क्लिनिक चलाना है, तो आई हैव टू बी अ डॉक्टर, राइट? या फिर माय मॉम वाज अ कथक डांसर एंड शी वांट्स मी टू बिकम अ डांसर. सो दिस इज हाउ, यू नो, ट्रेडिशनली थिंग्स हैव बीन एनफोर्स्ड ऑन किड्स. वो नहीं होना चाहिए. द सेकंड प्रॉब्लम इज किड्स यूजुअली फॉलो समबडी एल्स, लाइक यू नो, देयर क्लोज फ्रेंड, और पीयर प्रेशर होता है कि मेरे फ्रेंड सारे इंजीनियरिंग में जा रहे, तो मैं कैसे मेडिकल फील्ड में जाऊंगी, राइट? तो आई फील कि अगर आपको कुछ सस्टेनेबिलिटी दिखानी है आपके लाइफ में, यू वांट टू मेक सम गुड प्रोग्रेस इन योर लाइफ विद योर करियर, आपको वही चीज करनी है जो आप शिद्दत से एंड तक कर सको. वो आपको काम की तरह फील नहीं होना चाहिए. तो ऐसे काम करो जिसके साथ आपको लगाव रहे, यू नो, द प्रोसेस हैज टू बी समथिंग व्हिच यू फॉल इन लव विद.
एब्सोल्युटली.
सो डू समथिंग दैट यू लव सो दैट यू डोंट फील कि वो काम है.
और काफ़ी टाइम ये भी हो जाता है दैट यही यंगस्टर्स, जैसा आपने कहा कि अगर मदर इज़ अ कथक डांसर, शी इज़ एक्सपेक्टिंग के लेगेसी जो है ये मेरे बच्चे आगे लेके जाएंगे. और दूसरा आई फील एक प्रेशर नया जो आ गया एंगल इज़ के ये यंगस्टर्स इंस्टाग्राम में जो देखते हैं, सोशल मीडिया पे जो देखते हैं, वो उसी को सच मान लेते हैं, और उनको एक्चुअली समझ में नहीं आता है कि ये 30 सेकेंड्स में जो इंसान जो लाइफ दिखा रहा है वो एक्चुअल में उसकी लाइफ शायद नहीं है. डू यू थिंक इसकी वजह से भी इट्स अ मेंटल प्रेशर एंड दैट डिप्रेसिव एनवायरनमेंट जो
बहुत ज़्यादा? इट्स वेरी ट्रू, वेरी ट्रू. बेसिकली क्या है कि everybody needs acceptance. We as social animals, we need acceptance, right? किसी को भी अगर मैं किसी को बोलूंगी कि आप आधार कार्ड का फोटो उठा के आप आपका इंस्टाग्राम का डीपी लगा देना, can you do that? Nobody, because we know how ugly we look on those, you know, Aadhaar card pictures. But yes, everybody would want to be there, have their Instagram DP or their WhatsApp DP as impressive as possible, right?
True.
And यही problem है younger generation का कि they fall for things which are not realistic. They live in a dreamland.
Yes.
Right? वो problem है. Everybody wants to have a tiny waist. Everybody wants to have a six-pack abs. Everybody wants to have their teeth aligned. Everybody wants to have a perfect smile. But हमें ये समझ लेना है कि there's nothing called as perfection. Perfection होता ही नहीं है. You need to just progress. Right? मैं यहाँ पे हूँ, मैं और अच्छी कैसे बन सकती हूँ? How can I progress? There is no perfection. Normally, there's a quote which says that practice makes man perfect. But I feel practice just brings progression. Practice does not lead to perfection because there's nothing called as perfect.
This is such a beautiful thought, Poonam. I think that Powerpuff title is so right because you are absolutely saying the right thing. It makes so much sense कि हम वो perfection की chase में उसी में हम अपने आप पे ही हावी हो रहे हैं.
That's very true. इसीलिए आजकल you will see a lot of young girls, falling prey for these Botox treatments.
Yes.
And, they want to get so many things done because वो Instagram पे देखती हैं कि ये model.
Yeah.
This is my icon. And basically the icon that they follow is also actually wrong.
Yeah.
वो भी problem है.
वो भी problem है. Selection
so,
of your
influencer,
idol.
हाँ. जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं कि social media influencers. तो आपकी influencer ही अगर गलत है, your vision is wrong. Whom you're looking up to is wrong. Obviously, you will be imbibing all those negativities. Yeah. But अगर आपकी influencer सही है, whom you're looking at, who is your inspiration? If your inspiration is right, your motivation is right, you can never go wrong. So you need to know whom to follow. Blindly हम लोग क्या करते हैं? इसको follow करो, उसको follow करो.
Yes.
And डे टू डे हम लोग देखते हैं कि फेस टू फेस इंटरेक्शन कम है. आप और मैं यहाँ पे बैठ के बात कर रही हूँ, वी फीलिंग अ कनेक्ट. यही अगर हम लोग जूम पे करते, राइट, लाइव इंस्टाग्राम करते, वी वुडंट हैव फेल्ट दैट कनेक्ट. तो फेस टू फेस इंटरेक्शन कम होते जा रहा है. फेसबुक फ्रेंड्स, इंस्टाग्राम फ्रेंड्स, मिलियंस ऑफ फॉलोअर्स, बट यू कॉल वन पर्सन इन द मिडनाइट दैट यू नीड हेल्प. हाउ मेनी आर गोइंग टू टर्न अप? That's the question.
My God. Tell me, who is your inspiration?
I think I did not have to go very far to search for any inspiration. My father was my inspiration. Yeah. Rather, he is my inspiration. So, we lost him in 2018 to cancer. But then, he has been, you can say, rock solid support for me right from my childhood until my schooling and my college days and everything. We did belong to a very orthodox family, but then my dad never ever kind of discriminated between a male and a female child. या फिर okay आप लड़की हो तो आप कैसे, मैं आपको नहीं भेज सकता दूर पढ़ाई के लिए. He was absolutely fine. गोवा जाना है पढ़ाई के लिए, जाओ, no problem. आपको क्या करना है, मेडिकल करना है, ठीक है, no problem. So he was absolutely fine with everything that I did because he trusted me a lot.
Yeah.
And मेरा लाइफ में एक ही मोटो था. Rather I can say 2 मोटो थे. एक तो उनको प्राउड फील कराना है, दूसरा उनका ट्रस्ट ब्रेक नहीं करना है.
Oh my God.
These are the only 2 things. And I think I stuck to that. And that's why I am here today. And every time I have an achievement, the first person that I ever think of is my dad.
My God. I'm sure he's very proud of you.
Definitely.
And definitely after, seeing your journey and for everyone to know this, for you to be able to get into a space which is less explored, and जो भी हमें इस वक्त देख रहे हैं वो आपकी साइज पे ना जाए. I look like the bodybuilder, but actually you are one. Tell me about this journey of how did you get into it, and I'm so curious to know because when I see those videos of yours, I'm like, oh my God.
So Mareesha, you won't believe, this would be very surprising to know, but I always had this fear of injuries. Okay? कि मुझे कहीं लग जाएगी, मैं गिर जाऊंगी. And that's why I always stayed away from sports. मैं स्कूल में कभी भी किसी भी स्पोर्ट में नहीं थी.
Sorry, but I have to give you a high five because I was the same. मैं भागती नहीं थी इस डर में कि मैं गिर जाऊँ.
Right. The only thing I participated, I think, was lemon and spoon. That was the only thing. But yeah, I mean, वो पता नहीं क्यों. I always had that fear कि ना मैं गिर जाऊंगी, pain, injuries. इससे हमेशा मुझे दूर रहना था. But then, after getting into the medical field, watching those dead bodies and doing those postmortems and doing those deliveries, always surrounded by bones and blood and flesh and all of that, I think somewhere that fear kind of, कम हो गया. And then automatically धीरे धीरे I was like, नहीं, अगर मैं डॉक्टर हूँ, I should look fit. Only then I can tell people or prescribe people कि आपको ये खाना है, ये नहीं खाना है, आपको exercise करना है. If I am not following something, I cannot be expecting my clients or my patients to do that.
True.
Right? So just to lead by an example, slowly and gradually I took a turn and I entered into this fitness industry.
Oh. And how did you take that on towards then going Bagaida on stage and winning all those accolades and championships? Take me through
that is a big story. But yeah, cutting it short, basically, ICN, the competition that I had participated in, it says I compete natural, so no steroids.
Really?
No other unnatural ways of building your muscle.
Yes.
So it's completely natural. And for female categories, we have a lot. Like we have bikini athletes, we have sports models, we have runway models. So we have different categories in that. So I basically participated in the bikini, in the sports and the runway model. So I did not go into the typical, physique category where you need bigger muscles. Here you need to have a leaner waist. You need to look delicate. You need to be presentable on the stage. So ICN was always, running in the back of my mind. But I was a little hesitant with the fact that I would be, required to wear a bikini.
Yeah.
And more than that, I was scared that I would have to wear a 5-inch heel because I am not at all a heel person. And I love, flaunting my shoes. Very comfortable with my shoes. So, wo pressure mere dimag mein tha ki, how would I manage that? And then I just happened to discuss this at home. Initially, obviously, when you tell your parents or when you tell your siblings that you're going to be wearing a 2-piece on stage, they'll be like, no, no way. But then, as they kept seeing my, determination and the hard work that I had put in, they somehow got convinced and they're like, no, you can do this. You go ahead and do this. Whatever support you need from us, we are going to be here for you. So my friends, my family, both of them were, supportive throughout my journey of ICN.
And kitne time ki training leni padti hai to be able to contest? So it
actually depends ki आपका starting point कहाँ पे है. So everybody starts at a different phase, right?
Right.
Somebody may start at a higher body fat percentage. Somebody may be having a stronger training history. तो आपकी जितनी training history अच्छी है, जितना आपका body fat percentage कम है, आपको कम समय लगता है. But I feel genuinely if you want to back up a medal, at least on the stage, you need to have a good training history and at least 6 months of period to, prep yourself.
You mean to say that amazing hot body pictures that I see of yours, you achieved that in 6 months?
Yeah, I think I took 7.5 months to be precise.
Oh my God.
Because last moment I was like, karu, nahi karu. I was a little dicey about things. But then finally when I got the backup that I needed from my family, I was like, abhi to I'm going to be unstoppable. Abhi kuch nahi rok sakta mujhe.
और दिन में कितने घंटों की training रहती है?
Moreover, it would be like a hardcore strength training session of 2 to 2.5 hours. Then I would go in the evening for a separate cardio session for around an hour or so. And then there would be an hour of, posing coaches. So I would go for my posing sessions separately where you need to wear the heels, you need to wear the bikini and, you need to pose, flex.
Yes.
And, flexing with a smile on your face is the most difficult because usually I make all monkey faces when I flex. But then on the stage, you can't be doing those monkey faces. So you need to flex as well as smile, make that eye contact with the judges, carry everything with a grace.
And there is a separate coach for posing also?
Yes, there are separate posing coaches.
And this is their full-time profession?
Yes.
And they're busy round the year?
Absolutely. Because we have several bodybuilding competitions around the year through different federations.
Okay.
So ICN is one of them. So we have separate posing coaches who are well equipped with all the knowledge where they will kind of, judge you from top to bottom. They'll tell you which is your weaker area. How can you hide it? Right? So they help you create that illusion of either a massive body or a narrow waist, all of that.
And that also obviously leads to confidence building. Definitely. Because heels may all the time in bikini you're getting trained.
Yeah, in fact, when it comes to stepping on a stage for an athletic or for a moreover like an aesthetic physique, right? How you pose is as important or rather I would say more important than your actual physique.
Oh.
Let's say a person who's having a top-notch physique but failed to do the proper posing.
Oh my God.
You may not stand up, in that huge crowd on the stage.
Oh God.
So how you pose, how you flex, what your eye contact is, how your body language is, all of that is equally important as your physique.
Oh gosh. And then how did you deal with it, especially because of the fact that you were, ailing with something, you had to physically pull yourself up first. Parents or sabka permission came, I think, at a much later stage. You had to pull yourself up first. You had to physically and mentally understand that, yes, you're surviving fitness and championships later, but you're actually going to survive and be alive. Take me through that entire phase of your life.
Yeah. So basically, that I think is the most lowest phase I can say of my life, where I was suffering with endometriosis. And endometriosis is considered as one of the top 3 painful conditions. Okay. In medicine. So this is where, the uterine lining starts growing outside the uterus.
Okay.
And in response to the hormones, that will also bleed, but doesn't find an escape, right? So what happens is basically there will be collection of this blood inside.
Okay.
And at times it also leads to adhesions between the organs. So it's a very painful condition. And, I used to be on back-to-back painkillers and constantly taking these hot fermentations to an extent that I had burns on my belly. And plus all of this happened amidst the pandemic of COVID.
तो आपको पता कैसे चला that you are suffering from this ailment?
It was just painful periods.
अच्छा.
And I would like to take this opportunity of this platform, this beautiful platform, in letting women know that if you're having painful periods and if you feel that this pain is affecting your quality of life and you have to depend on painkillers very frequently, you should understand that this is not normal. So do not try to normalize your period pain if it is severe. You need to consult a physician, get yourself analyzed and see if you have any particular pathological condition so that it can be dealt at a very earlier stage.
So you went in, आपने टेस्ट करवाए, तब जाके आपको पता चला.
Yes.
Otherwise you were treating it कि ये normal है. Periods we tend to ignore. Period pain is like हाँ ठीक है.
The most girls consider कि period है तो pain तो होगा ही. 1-2 दिन का pain is absolutely normal. But वो किस हद तक होना चाहिए? How bad can it be? And whether it is causing a lot of absentees in your workplace, whether it is causing a lot of problem in the quality of life, your social relationships are getting hampered, then you should always question it. Is this normal?
My God. तो आपकी जो treatment थी, because it was COVID, like you were saying, तो did the doctor suggest some medicines for it or did they ask you to get it operated?
Basically, initially, he said we would see how far the rate of growth of this particular condition is.
Right.
But then later on they got to know that the cyst that developed inside the ovary was so huge कि वो मेरे colon को compress कर रहा था, because of which I was having difficulty in passing motions as well. And then they said we need to undergo a surgery. This cannot be dealt with medicines. So medicines was just to curb the pain, temporary painkillers. And that too, I would have to take them round the clock. Every 6 hours,
Baapre.
I had to take painkillers, yeah.
So you were perpetually not in your senses with that much of heavy doses?
I get goosebumps even now when I think of that particular stage of my life.
Yeah.
And the worst part was the OTs were closed. So even if I was up for the surgery, I was like, I want to get the surgery done, but OTs closed hain. Why? Because of COVID. So when things were under control and OTs open ho gayi thi, I was the first person to get operated in the OT.
My God. और इसमें was any chance कि second opinion लो, ये सब mind में तो चल ही रहा होगा. आजकल एक हो ही गया है कि एक
हो
doctor
जाता है. But then this doctor whom I was seeing, she is also, she had already become a very good friend of mine. So I didn't think कि मुझे second opinion लेना. In fact, she told me that, see, this is beyond my limitation. आपकी जो surgery है वो काफी complicated है. So you may require a proper advanced surgeon for this. So she referred me to a proper surgeon, and then under him the surgery was kind of planned.
और ये पूना में ही आपने?
पूना में ही, in दीनानाथ मंगेशकर.
Oh.
Yeah.
और how was that recovery and that operation and all of that going? How was that? Your family obviously आपके साथ होगी उस time पे, in spite of COVID.
Yes. So obviously, you won't believe, actually मैं first time hospital में admit हुई थी, and that too for a surgery.
No.
Yeah, so I used to go to the hospital as a kid, falling sick and taking the medicines and all of that. But hospitalization, staying inside the hospital was the first time. and direct in the OT, which was like, another kind of turning and twisting story in my life. And then the surgery was just like, a laser surgery. But then, they kind of make multiple holes in your abdomen to make sure that the probes go in right and the cyst is drained and all of that.
And it's anesthesia.
Yeah, it was general anesthesia. So after the surgery, obviously they had put a laryngoscope also, so that the whole throat was swollen.
Yes.
Plus they put a catheter, plus there is a drain to drain the excess blood, then the stitches, the anesthesia, all of that.
My God.
Yeah, it's a very painful. I mean, it is moreover like a rebirth, I can say, for me, because after the surgery I had no pains again. The periods were regular, and I was just like, this is what is life. I should be having fun, I should be enjoying. And that is when I decided I need to bounce back. I cannot be stopping here.
Yes, the show must go on. How many months did that phase take for you to come back to normalcy before you took that decision कि चलो ICN में जाना है? उसमें कितना टाइम गैप मिला आपको to recover and be normal?
Yeah, I think मुझे डॉक्टर ने बताया था कि you cannot be lifting for at least 6 months or so. मत lift करना heavy, because we do not know how your body will respond and how your capacity to rejuvenate and recover is. But then luckily, I think because I've always been active, my food choices have been good, I was already training, my recovery was very fast. Within 3 months I started lifting weights because I couldn't hold myself back.
My God.
For me, workout has become like an addiction, so I just couldn't stop. तो मैं क्या करती थी, टेरेस पे चढ़ती थी ऊपर जाके, I had my own setup of some small weights. तो I would start working out.
Oh God.
सुबह उठना है, वर्कआउट करना है, शाम को जाना है वॉक पे, 10,000 steps complete करने हैं, and then I would feel like I've accomplished something for the day. It was like that. And then उसके बाद once the pain was better and a follow-up sonography हुई, डॉक्टर के पास follow-up ले लिया गया, and he was like, okay, you're fine now, no problem. So the first question I asked him, so I can start lifting heavy weights now, right? I can start going to the gym, right? And he's like, oh yes, you can do it now.
Didn't your family say, hey भगवान क्या करे?
हाँ,
Powerpuff
वो
का
पागलपंती एक्सेप्ट कर ली थी फैमिली वालों ने कि ये ऐसी ही है, अभी इसको कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
आज भी do you feel like do you get a chance to participate in any more of these championships? आपने कितने ऐसे contest में हिस्सा लिया होगा?
That was my first, you can say,
First and you
मतलब
hit
stage
jackpot.
level वाला जो contest था वो first था. But इससे पहले Fittr, basically the organization that I work for, they keep organizing these transformation challenges like every 3 months. So one transformation challenge is 12 weeks, which is 3 months. Okay. And I had participated in one of their transformation challenges. वहाँ पे you have people worldwide participating. And वहाँ पे भी I think I stood in the first top 200 participants.
कितने आते हैं इसमें participate करने?
It depends actually. 15,000, 20,000.
What?
Yeah.
20,000 आप तो ऐसे बोल रहे हो जैसे.
Yes. Lot of people.
हम हमारे local beauty contest को बहुत ज़्यादा seriously लेते हैं. ये वाला
it's open to everybody. It's open to anybody, and they have very specific categories. A senior citizen, somebody who is specially abled, right? Coach categories separate. You have a male winner, you have a female winner.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So specially able भी इसमें एक category रहती है.
Yes. We have triple amputees winning the competitions as well. So that's amazing. Even ICN has added a new category now.
What stories this would be.
And currently I have also participated in the latest version of this transformation challenge by Fittr, which is TC21. And that will be ending on 5th August. And that's the reason I carried my quantified meals today.
Oh my God! ये रोज का है? इतना ही खा सकते हैं. Oh God. And yet you are glowing. You have that smile on your face. I think ये जो हमारा notion है ना कि दिल की तसल्ली के लिए खाओ, ये गलत है. Totally incorrect.
हम लोग दिल के लिए खाते, वो प्रॉब्लम है. हमें पेट के लिए खाना है. The moment you start differentiating the two, the want and the need, you'll be clear with everything.
But it's going to take me too many months and many of us too long a period to be able to get to that kind of power, to be able to, lift weights and accomplish so much, and then also go to a posing coach. Bhai. Just don't work on yourself and forget
That's
it.
That's important.
Oh my God. Tell me, when you go for these competitions, आपका तो मतलब interaction कितने लोगों से होता होगा जिनकी लाइफ में ऐसे चैलेंजिंग फेजेस आते हैं. कितने सपोर्टिव है इंडियन फैमिलीज टुवर्ड्स गर्ल्स हु वांट टू take part in these kind of championships and go out there and strut themselves, because एक ब्यूटी कॉन्टेस्ट में अलग बात है एंड इट्स अ हैंडफुल लाइक वी ऑल नो, बट जब आप बात करते हैं इतने बड़े वॉल्यूम की और आप बोलते हो कि पूरे साल में ये चलता रहता है अक्रॉस इंडिया, टेल मी व्हाट काइंड ऑफ स्टोरीज डू यू हियर? हैज इंडिया प्रोग्रेस्ड?
Definitely, it has. Because I can tell you out of my experience. When I was in school, I don't think I would have ever dreamt कि मैं कभी 2 piece डाल के किसी स्टेज पे ऐसे परफॉर्म करूंगी, या फिर मैं I would step on a stage for a bodybuilding competition. Pageants I must have, but then this is something which is completely different. This niche is completely different. But then I see a lot of women, even from the rural areas, participate in this.
No.
And their families support them. I have seen their husbands running with all their कपड़े पहनने हैं, चलो अभी चेंज करना है, आपका मेकअप लगाना है, and all of that.
Oh my God.
Yes. And it gives me immense pleasure when I see the families support women doing a sport like this.
Yes, absolutely.
And breaking the barriers, and it's a complete notion that most people have ki this is not meant for women. Bodybuilding is supposed to be only for men. But times have changed. India is progressing. So is the thought process of majority of the Indians changing nowadays. And I think women are unstoppable.
Yes.
They just need to know कि उनका potential क्या है. Once they unleash that, they do amazing.
And I think they do even better jab the man in their life, whether it's the brother or the father or the husband, जब वो support देते हैं ना, I feel it changes our mental game altogether.
Totally.
Because we're used to a society where we are made to feel guilty, and something like this, if you're seeing a rural woman in a bikini, I can't even imagine, and you're saying the husband is supporting and saying go for it. I think it gives you a different kind of strength, doesn't it?
Totally. And I also feel that the women should know कि किस हद तक मुझे चीजें दिमाग में लानी है और कौन सी चीजें मुझे ऐवे ही छोड़ देनी है. Like even when it came to me, it's not that the entire family was supporting me.
Right.
There were few people who were like, क्या करेगी, क्या ही करना है ये सब करके, क्यों बॉडी अपना दिखाना है, पता नहीं ये फोटोज कहाँ कहाँ पे जाएंगे, लोग क्या सोचेंगे.
Yes.
All of that. But then I knew people who mean a lot to me are by my side. So who cares about the rest, right? So
true.
ये differentiate करना आना चाहिए that when people who are for you, people who genuinely care for you, वो अगर आपके लिए हैं तो बाकी लोग मायने नहीं रखते हैं. अगर आप सारे ही लोगों के बारे में सोचने लगोगे, you will never land up doing anything in your life.
True. Tell me, ये जो आपने कहा भी, ये फिटर का जो entire run है of this transformation, how does one participate into these contests, and do we need to train with Fittr to be getting a ticket into this, or how does
Not really.
this work?
That's the best part of Fittr. So this is not at all a marketing strategy कि आपको Fittr coach के साथ ही enroll करना है, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. So it's an open challenge. Any person of any age, okay, can participate in this competition.
Okay.
You just have to download the app and you'll get all the details of the challenges. हर वीक आपको आपका कंडीशन चेक का जो वीडियो होता है वो अपलोड करना होता है. सो एवरी वीक देयर विल बी अ सीक्रेट कोड विच विल बी रिवील्ड. यू हैव टू utter that code, show all your profiles 360 degree, utter that word, utter your name, and that's all, and upload that video in the section. So 12 weeks में you will be analyzed कि आप week 1 में कैसे दिखते थे और अभी आप week 12 में कैसे दिखते हो. How much have you transformed yourself?
Oh my God.
That's what they see. They will not ask you आपने क्या खाया, आपने क्या ट्रेनिंग किया, आपने कहाँ से स्टार्ट किया था, आपने कोच के लिए एनरोल किया था या नहीं किया था, or did you do it on your own self? Nothing of that. Neither your weight, nothing matters. Only what matters is how you looked in the first video and how much have you transformed until the 12th week.
Oh my God. Listen, I'm suddenly getting very inspired.
And it's a completely online thing. So,
Exactly. I think हमारी इंडस्ट्री में ना सीजन ऑफ सीजन वाला एक गेम रहता है. कि फ्रॉम द पीरियड ऑफ जून टिल अक्टूबर इज कंसिडर्ड ऑफ सीजन, कम काम रहता है सबके पास, चाहे कॉर्पोरेट्स हो या शादियां हो. सो आई थिंक दिस इज अ गुड विंडो पीरियड टू फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस.
डेफिनेटली.
बट आई थिंक फिटर ओनली विल नीड टू पुश अस, क्योंकि हम इतने थक जाते हैं बाकी महीनों में कि वी प्रेफर स्लीपिंग.
I know. It's absolutely fine to get a coach when required. See, we need to understand कि सारी ही चीज़ों में हम लोग बहुत अच्छे नहीं हो सकते हैं, right? कुछ चीज़ों में हम लोग अच्छे होते हैं, कुछ चीज़ों में हम लोग average होते हैं, and there will be some areas where you may require that push. So if you're a person who feels कि if I get that push, I'll be able to do better, that's always better to go for a coach.
Go for a coach. That's right. And now explain to me what happens to all these bodybuilders. Okay, वो इतनी मेहनत करते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा sacrifice भी देते हैं, especially for food. After winning a few of these competitions, usually इन सब की life क्या होती है? Because you are a qualified doctor, you are an educator, you are a coach, you have a lot of things that you're professionally actively doing. But कितने ऐसे लोग होंगे, especially men, जो शायद इसमें इतना टाइम दे देते हैं. How do they make money and what is their life post couple of years of bodybuilding?
Yes. So basically जैसे आपने बोला event management में you have off and on season.
Yes.
यहाँ पे भी you have an off and on season. So it's not like if you see somebody having a six-pack abs or a person who is very chiseled, he's going to be like that throughout the year. It's very difficult and it is practically near to impossible, I must say, unless you've had really good training history and you've had that self-discipline. तो यहाँ पे भी off stage, on stage, आप सेम बंदे के दो पिक्चर्स अगर ऑफ स्टेज और मतलब ऑफ सीजन एंड ऑन सीजन देखोगे, यू वुड नॉट इवन रियलाइज इट्स द सेम पर्सन.
What?
Yeah, because they have to eat a lot. They have to make sure they train a lot to bulk up, to build that muscle.
Correct.
And when you're stepping on the stage, strategically वो reverse calculation करके अभी मुझे 6 महीने चाहिए to cut, मुझे 1 साल चाहिए to cut. Then they start their journey. So it's always a reverse calculation. अगर मेरा competition दिसंबर में है तो मुझे यहाँ से मई में at least start करना चाहिए. And then they start cutting. Then again they gear up with all the clean food, quantified food, and the training, everything basically will be customized considering what that stage demands out of them.
All right. And then after December, example जो आपने दिया, फिर कंपटीशन में जीत गई, फिर क्या?
हाँ,
फिर मैं
ये
सेलिब्रेट
होता है ना, ये बहुत जरूरी है. That's a very interesting question because you won't believe I had made a big list of food items that I would want to eat after my competition. And I was like, मुझे ये भी खाना है, मुझे वो भी खाना है, मुझे वो भी खाना है. It was a big list, right? But एक चीज होती है कि अभी when you do a training for a long time and you've been eating less for a comparatively longer time, even if you want to eat a lot, you can't.
Oh.
Because अभी आपकी appetite ही कम होने लगती है with time. So you cannot be loading a lot of food at one time.
आपको ही मन नहीं होगा.
नहीं होता है, नहीं होता है. So you can definitely enjoy everything in moderation, but बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं खा सकते. So even these bodybuilders after their competitions are over, जब off season में होते हैं, they do eat everything. उसमें भी there are few people who do dirty bulk. मतलब कुछ भी खाओ, body बनाओ.
Oh.
And there are few people who would want to do the lean bulking कि मैं अनाप शनाप खा के बॉडी नहीं बनाऊंगा. I will eat only limited options and I will make sure that I have lean gains throughout the year. ऐसा है.
And then there is also this new fad which has slowly started coming, especially for men. Women में I think काफी सालों से चल रहा है, which is undergoing surgeries to look the way you look without wanting to do all the hard work. And I recently read somebody's article, and there was an interview also jisme that person is talking about the fact that even men go through surgeries now to bring that six-pack look, etc. I'm sure a lot of that would also be happening in this bodybuilding community. Do you see it very like a common feature, and is it more of girls or boys who are falling for it?
I would not want to be prejudiced as far as the gender is considered. I think it's throughout. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. But then हमें एक चीज याद रखनी है, जो चीज आपको जितने जल्दी हासिल होती है ना, वो उतनी ही जल्दी निकल जाती है. So that's very important. Correct. You do a crash diet, you lose weight.
Yes.
You'll bounce back like this.
Yeah.
Right? But you do it in a sustainable way, you will make sure that you stay off that weight that you've lost for a longer period of time. So आपको जो भी करना है शॉर्टकट लेने से कोई फायदा नहीं है. Make sure that you take your own sweet time, you do everything thoroughly, understand the science behind it, and आपको ये भी याद रखना है कि aesthetically एक टाइप दिखना और हेल्दी रहना, ये दो चीजें अलग है. एंड पीपल यूजुअली गेट कंफ्यूज्ड बिटवीन द टू.
Yes.
Right? A person may have six-pack abs, but may have a cardiovascular condition, may have high cholesterol levels.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
we've
is
seen
he
that.
healthy? No. At the same time, a person may be somewhere around 80-90 kg, but blood profile unka kara lo, everything comes normal. Now, who is healthy? The person with a six-pack ab or a person who is above 90 or 100 kgs?
Right.
So, understanding what health is. And fitness, health का एक छोटा सा sector है. It's a small part of health. हेल्थ में काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें थी. आप फ्लेक्सिबल कितने हो, है ना, आपकी स्किन कितनी हेल्दी है, आपके ब्लड पैरामीटर्स कैसे हैं,
Oh my God.
आपका बैलेंस कैसा है, राइट? सो मेनी थिंग्स टुगेदर मेक अप हेल्थ.
Oh my God.
एंड फिटनेस इज जस्ट वन ऑफ द कंपोनेंट ऑफ दैट हेल्थ.
Right. That's quite a bit to process and I'll tell you why. हम ये सुनते हैं, लेकिन आज जब आप मुझे ये बता रहे हो, I'm suddenly realizing that there is so much to our body which we are not able to take seriously क्योंकि शायद हम इतने ज़्यादा consumed है in everything other than that. हमें ये back of the mind ज़रूर एहसास है, oh I put on weight. The obvious thing is that आपके jeans आपको tight हो रहे हैं, you know, or your t-shirt is looking a little more fitted. So that's like easy. Okay, I know. But being healthy is a very different game. And I think as Indians हम वैसे ही हमारी जो overall tests होती है, you know, body checkup ये वो, उसमें हम वैसे भी कम invested रहते. मतलब कुछ गड़बड़ हुई, डॉक्टर ने जबरदस्ती बोला ये टेस्ट करवाओ, तभी हम एक्चुअली
इसमें भी I'll tell you what happens. अगर वही प्रिस्क्रिप्शन डॉक्टर बोलता है कि आपको ये टेस्ट करा के आने हैं, मुझे लगता है आई फील अ कंसर्न फॉर यू, तो शायद कोई कर भी ले. बट यही अगर कोई कोच बोलता है आपको, फिटनेस कोच, कि आई थिंक यू हैव एन इशू, यू नीड टू गेट दीज ब्लड टेस्ट डन, the way they respond is as if you've asked them for a kidney. Yeah, people are not okay to do that test. उन्हें ये समझ में नहीं आता है कि ये जो minor investment of 2,000-3,000 that I'm doing now is going to save 2-3 or maybe 20-30 lakhs in future. Yes. Right? Because अभी आप पैसे बचा रहे हो, not doing the tests. The disease remains undiagnosed, it progresses and it reaches to a stage जहाँ पे आपको maybe you know hemodialysis की ज़रूरत पड़ रही है, आपको hospitalization की ज़रूरत पड़ रही है, you get diagnosed with a cancer in a very later stage of life, right? So it's always better कि you invest your money and time both very wisely.
Yeah. Dr. Poonam, my next curious question. You know, ये जो आजकल जिम में इतने ज़्यादा ट्रेनर्स आ गए हैं, you know, जितने जिम के मेंबर्स होते हैं उतने ही ट्रेनर्स हो जाते हैं. And they have a very smart way to do it. Like in my society where I live, you know, they become friends with you as if they're gymming with you, and then they kind of slip it in, you know what, that I can train you actually. You're doing this wrong. You're doing this right. So they have a very subtle way of seeping into your life. I have seen this with some of my closest friends, that it has proven to be a little bit of a disaster because the advice given is just to go aggressive, you know, push it, do it, you can do it. In that you can do it, I don't think, you know, fitness trainers are actually paying attention to what is my body and can I really do it and should I be doing it? It frightens me. Does it frighten you?
You won't believe there are so many people who are scared of going to the gym for this reason. Right? I have had so many clients who tell me that नहीं मैम आप हमें ना घर वाला वर्कआउट बता दो, होम वर्कआउट बता दो, हम लोग अपनी कैपेसिटी से करना चाहते हैं. We would not want to train under somebody so aggressively that we get injuries.
Yeah.
Right? I have myself experienced it. I have undergone injuries and purely because of somebody pushing me out of my way. So when it comes to trainers, I would not say every gym has these kind. There are bad trainers, there are good trainers, right? We cannot be generalizing the statements. But then एक अच्छा trainer वो होता है who knows the capacity of a person. उनका training history आप पूछो, कहाँ से वो start, उनका starting point क्या है, राइट, उनकी जनरल हेल्थ कैसी है, उनकी मोबिलिटी इश्यूज है क्या, राइट, ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर मान लीजिए आपके पास कोई एक 60 years old लेडी आती हैं, राइट, शी इज हैविंग बैड ऑस्टियोआर्थराइटिस ऑफ द नीज, वो स्क्वाट नहीं कर पा रही, फिर भी आप बोलते हो नहीं स्क्वाटिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, स्क्वाट तो आपको करना ही है, देन दैट इज रॉन्ग, यू आर एडिंग टू द ट्रबल. तो आपको वो एक्सरसाइजेस कैसे मॉडिफाई करनी है ये भी आपको मालूम होना चाहिए. सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग द बैकग्राउंड एंड देन कस्टमाइजिंग द ट्रेनिंग प्लान इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
एंड देन डज इट मीन दैट कोई ऐसा सर्टिफिकेशन है कि ये सब किसी ट्रेनर ने सीख के बाकायदा फिर मुझे गाइड कर रहे हैं?
डेफिनेटली
बट हम चेक नहीं करते हैं सर.
I know.
हम उसे देख के इम्प्रेस हो जाते हैं और फिर
I'll tell you, a person who is a good athlete may not be a good coach. Let me repeat that statement here. A person who is a good athlete may not be a good coach. If I have transformed myself under somebody else's guidance and I look amazing, that doesn't mean I have all the knowledge equipped to coach somebody else.
Okay, coming to a very important part, and these are a few things that concern the event industry from where I come. Girls, and I don't know अगर ये बाकी इंडस्ट्रीज में है, you would be knowing this. हमारी इंडस्ट्री में हम देख रहे हैं कि यंगर गर्ल्स जो है they have started talking about the fact that they have a PCOD or a PCOS. At an age where I remember, at 40, I used to hear women talk about it, and now I'm seeing someone as young as a 22-year-old who came and shared this with me, and we are seeing it very rampant in the event space. What is the reason for this, really?
Yes. So before I actually tell you about how or why these problems develop, let me exactly tell you what PCOD is.
Yes.
So basically PCOD stands for polycystic ovarian disease, and PCOS, the other terminology, stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. Now both these terminologies look very similar, but there is a minute difference. PCOD is the beginning phase, you can say, milder version, and PCOS is the more severe version of it. So it is more complicated as compared to PCOD. अभी ये सब start होने से पहले हमें ये समझ लेना है कि how do we come to know whether you have this condition? Because I think वो lack of awareness है regarding these two terminologies. हमें सब सुनाई देता है कहीं पे, हाँ इसको PCOD हुआ है, उसको PCOD हुआ है, but what is this PCOD and why is it coming? So basically it's a hormonal imbalance that majority of the women face. अभी काफी सारे डॉक्टर्स बोलते हैं कि it's because आपका वेट ज्यादा है, right?
Yes.
So whenever there is an obese lady who has PCOD, the obvious reason is because आप मोटे हो या आपका वेट बहुत ज़्यादा है, you have developed this hormonal imbalance. But there could also be lean PCOS. Everybody has a fat storage, और ये दो टाइप का होता है. एक फैट जो दिखता है, which is subcutaneous fat, your love handles, your tummy fat, right? And the दूसरा fat होता है, which is called as a visceral fat. So the fat which is present in and around your organs. Every lady may have an absolutely different normal periodic cycle. किसी का 28 days का हो सकता है, किसी का 30, किसी का 35 days का भी हो सकता है. But observing that pattern is something which is important. If I see that some days I'm getting it every 15 days, some days I'm getting after 40 days, this is not normal. And if this is not normal, the first person whom I can get in touch with should be my mom.
Yes.
Right? Or my sister maybe. Right. And then taking the, appointment with the doctor, getting the consultation done and coming to the diagnosis is very important. अगर ये आप PCOD वाले phase में ही diagnose करते हो, तो you will be absolutely normal. It can be completely reverted back. But अगर आप PCOS वाले stage में already चले जाते हो, then you're inviting a lot of trouble. Insulin resistance, diabetes, dyslipidemia मतलब high cholesterol levels, काफ़ी सारे problems हैं उसके अंदर.
So we can actually contain it when we are detected with a PCOD and change the way we live our life and whatever we are doing in a routine.
Yes. So it's I must say it is not only limited to the event industry, it's worldwide. Okay. And abhi, if you look at the WHO statistics, we say that every one in 3 women have PCOS. So it's that common.
No way.
Now उसमें भी दो चीजें हैं. If the mother is having PCOS or PCOD, there are high chances that the daughter will also have it. And second thing is your lifestyle. Right? अभी आपने देखा होगा काफी सारी लड़कियां randomly they pop up eye pills right? Randomly they take these oral contraceptive pills, and randomly they will take medication to postpone their periods and stuff, right? Without understanding the long-term consequences. Once a while लेना, and बहुत frequently उसका misuse करना. You know, it has been abused. I think eye pills and all these hormonal contraceptive pills, these are most abused things. So randomly आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते, because your body has its own feedback mechanism, right? It has its own homeostasis, and it wants to keep everything in a rhythm. आप उस rhythm को spoil कर रहे हो when you're taking something from outside. Right? अभी periods आने ही वाले थे, आपने कुछ तो body में डाल दिया, and now your ovaries are like, oh my god, what do I do? I'm into a panic situation. वो फीडबैक भेजती है आपके ब्रेन को, हाइपोथैलेमस को, थायराइड को, एवरीवेयर, एंड एवरीबडी इज इन अ, वो ऑर्केस्ट्रा चल रहा था अच्छा खासा, यू नो, किसी ने बीच में ही समथिंग बैंड बजाना शुरू कर दिया, ना ऑल इनटू अ पैनिक फेज. दिस इज हैपनिंग वेरी फ्रीक्वेंटली, सो इट्स वेरी वेरी कॉमन. नॉट जस्ट PCOD, you will also find a lot of females getting periods very early. Normally it is said that, you know, when you are somewhere around 14 years, 15 years, that's the age when you get your first periods. अभी वैसा नहीं है. 10 years, 9 years, जहाँ पे उनको पता भी नहीं होता कि what is periods.
वो क्यों हो रहा है?
All of this is because of the lifestyle. हमारा लाइफस्टाइल इतना खराब हो चुका है, बहुत ज़्यादा खराब हो चुका है. वी आर ईटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ प्रोसेस्ड फूड, वी आर स्टेइंग अवे फ्रॉम होल फूड. एक्टिविटी लेवल्स हमारी कम हो चुकी हैं. एवरीथिंग इज बटन स्टार्ट, राइट फ्रॉम द व्हीकल टू द वॉशिंग मशीन, डिश वॉशर, कुछ भी देखो, एक्टिविटी है नहीं.
एब्सोल्युटली.
या लेडीज बैक देन, यू नो, दे यूज्ड टू गो ड्रॉ द वाटर फ्रॉम द वेल, कुएं से पानी निकालो, नदी पे जाके कपड़े, यू नो, धोना है, नीचे बैठ के फर्श पोंछना है. A simple question I would ask: how many times do we squat? When I say squat, it's a typical Indian toilet position that we attain. कितनी बार हम लोग करते हैं? No, we don't. Unless we don't have a commode. Or we don't have a dining table, and I don't think anybody's house doesn't have a commode and a dining table. So हम लोग वो नहीं करते हैं. So slowly and gradually we are losing something that we are not using.
तो फिर ये ना बहुत एक convenient game हो गया है हमारे space में, especially, and I'm sure now that you are saying कि ये common feature है with girls. Parents का first reaction ये होता है, तुम्हारी job गलत है, you are in the wrong profession, ये तुम जो late nights कर रही हो, all of this is adding, I agree. But if you're saying that this is not only towards event industry, other girls from different industries are going through it, but the first reaction from parents of these young girls is leave the industry. And we miss out on very good talent because of this reason. And I see that I'm able to, in spite of being a business runner, मैं फिर भी अपना दिन शुरू करती हूँ, even if I have to compromise on my sleep for 30 minutes, 1 hour, I do that, but I still manage to get that 1 hour, क्योंकि मुझे पता है पूरे दिन में वो वक्त मुझे नहीं मिलेगा. And शाम को I'm not an evening person, I feel drained out, I feel कि यार it's not my scene. Morning I'm energetic, I got my energies right. But I see young girls don't even go for a walk. You know, वो वहाँ से अगर शुरू कर लिए, do you feel that will at least help them battle this?
Definitely.
So that they can stick to their passion?
I think the only two reasons which I feel, could contribute to development of PCOS, and that could have a connect with the event management or event industry, are two things. One is a very hectic schedule and very erratic schedule. आपको पता नहीं होता है आपको खाना कब मिलने वाला है, किस टाइप का खाना मिलने वाला है. So even if you are fanatic about eating clean food and stuff, अभी आप जब भूखे हो ना, लॉजिक गोज आउट ऑफ द विंडो. सो अभी मुझे भूख लगी तो आई विल नॉट सी अरे ये वड़ा पाव इसमें कितनी कैलोरीज एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, आई बी लाइक जस्ट गल्पिंग इट डाउन, राइट. तो ये एक चीज होती है. एंड सेकेंड थिंग इज बिकॉज traveling and all this aspect is so much that even if you want to make a routine for exercise, वो नहीं हो पाता.
बिल्कुल सही बात है.
एंड तीसरी चीज, आपका जो circadian rhythm है, biological clock है, that's disturbed because आप लेट उठते हो, आप लेट सोते हो, so there's no time. Right? When your body's biological clock and the nature's clock are in sync with each other, you have minimal hormonal issues. Not just PCOS, even thyroid issues या और कोई भी hormonal issue, वो कम से कम होता है. When you go against the nature's clock, that is when all these hormonal problems start. So I think that could be a connection between, an erratic schedule and development of PCOS or for that matter any hormonal condition. तो इसका solution क्या है? तो इसका एक सोल्यूशन तो आपने खुद बताया, यू आर एन एग्जाम्पल फॉर इट. यू ऑल्सो बिलोंग टू इवेंट इंडस्ट्री बट यू प्रायोरिटाइज योर मॉर्निंग्स कि मुझे सुबह का ये टाइम देना है बिकॉज इवनिंग्स और द रिमेनिंग पार्ट ऑफ द डे इज गोना बी अनप्रेडिक्टेबल, राइट? एंड आई डोंट थिंक सुबह 6 बजे किसी की शादी होती है या सुबह 6 बजे कोई बर्थडे पार्टी रखेगा, नहीं. सो मेक श्योर कि आपका जो भी टाइम है आप 1 घंटा बस पहले जल्दी उठना. आउट ऑफ 24 hours I think 1 hour आपके खुद के हेल्थ के लिए something which everybody should do, right? Yes. Irrespective of which field you belong to or how, no matter how busy you are. तो सुबह का 1 घंटा it's your me time.
Yeah.
आपको कोई डिस्टर्ब नहीं करता है because nowadays many people 9 बजे के बाद ही उठते हैं.
Yes.
So be an early riser and conquer the world. That's what I feel. 1 घंटा आप उठ के अगर वर्कआउट करते हो, स्टेप काउंट्स करते हो, it is not a rigid plan कि आपको जिम में ही जाना है, वेट्स ही लिफ्ट करने हैं. You just have to be active. Do Zumba.
Yeah.
Get into a sport. Anything that you like.
Nice.
And you can sustain in the longer run. I think that's going to help a lot.
Yeah. You just made it sound so much easier and genuinely enjoyable as well. Like when you said Zumba, you know, that's what I do. I like to just do freestyle Bollywood dance. I feel happy. And I know how much I'm able to vent out. कभी गुस्सा भी निकल आता है. It's a good diversion, you know,
Very true.
Anger management. Tell me, Dr. Poonam, how does life look now? Firstly, I should have asked this question to you in the beginning, but I am asking you now. You know, when we go on your Insta handle, it's called Powerpuff. ये वाला title कहाँ से आया?
So there are 2 reasons to it. First thing is, as a kid, I thoroughly loved that serial, Powerpuff Girls, right? So these 3 amazing girls and they fight against so many odds and the way they are bonded and they call themselves, you know, those Powerpuff Girls. And उसका जो title song था and all of that, you know, it was very interesting. तो वो एक reason है. And दूसरा is, I feel that every lady has a lot of potential and a lot of power inside her. We are just like tea bags, you know. जब तक वो boiling water में डालोगी नहीं, कितना strong है पता नहीं चलता है. So it's like that. So I feel कि every lady is powerful. And you know, because my profession is something which is related to training and health and fitness and all of that, I needed a terminology which could kind of, you know, correlate to my profession.
Yes.
So I thought कि power ये ऐसी चीज़ है जो सिर्फ fitness में नहीं आती है. It goes in all areas of life. How powerful your mind is, how powerful your brain is, how powerful your soul is, what impact you're leaving on the society, everything. So power is like one, क्या बोलते हैं? It's like a bomb word for me. So that's how, you know, coupling my childhood cartoon memories with the current scenario, the whole thing together,
Powerpuff.
I thought, yeah, Powerpuff Poonam. So it's triple P.
It is triple P. What are the plans of Powerpuff Poonam? How are you seeing your life going ahead? How many more such bodybuilding competitions are we going to be cheering you for?
So as far as the competitions are considered, I am not very sure. I haven't at least planned anything near.
Okay.
But then yes, currently जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि I am already into TC21 जो अगस्त तक चलेगा.
बिल्कुल.
So I may shred even all the more.
No.
And yeah, and then post that, I think for me it's like every day is a competition मेरे लिए. Though I may not step on stage, बट हर दिन मेरा स्टार्ट होता है कि मुझे आज ये करना है, मुझे आज ये हासिल करना है. आई वांट टू मेक श्योर आई कंप्लीट माय 10K स्टेप्स. आई वांट टू मेक श्योर दैट आई एम गोना बी, यू नो, इंस्पायरिंग समबडी. मेरा एक वीडियो जो मैं इंस्टाग्राम पे डालती हूँ वो सिर्फ दिखावे के लिए नहीं होता है. यू नो, इट्स मोर ओवर कि आई डू नॉट नो whom it will reach to.
जी.
आई नो किसको इंस्पायर करेगा. दैट इज वन थिंग. एंड सेकेंडली, आई डोंट केयर, यू नो, कि मैंने क्या कपड़े पहने हैं, मैंने ब्रांडेड कपड़े पहने हैं नहीं पहने. आई डोंट बिलोंग टू दैट फ्लॉक ऑफ पीपल, यू नो. फॉर मी इट इज लाइक दिस इज व्हाट आई एम, दिस इज रॉ, राइट? सो आई वॉन्ट टू काइंड ऑफ ब्रेक दोज बैरियर्स दैट पीपल हैव कि अगर मुझे कुछ इंस्टाग्राम पे या सोशल मीडिया पे डालना है तो आई हैव टू लुक इन अ सर्टन मैनर, आई हैव टू ड्रेस अप इन अ सर्टन मैनर. आई नीड टू हैव अ पूमा बैग एंड आई नीड टू हैव अ नाइकी शूज, आई नीड टू हैव अ, यू नो, आदिदास का जैकेट. नहीं है ऐसा. एंड आई फर्मली बिलीव दैट, यू नो, if your shape and your body is good, you're confident, आप कुछ भी पहनो, you know, it'll look good on you. But if you're out of shape, no matter what branded clothes you wear, what you wear, it doesn't do justice to the brand, I feel.
True. Yeah. I think it's amazing how I think आपकी जिंदगी का हर दिन, आप शायद ये जाने या ना जाने, but you are going to end up inspiring someone.
That's the best part of being a fitness coach, I
Yeah.
feel, because see how it works. I'll tell you, it's like a cycle. I need to be fit because there are many people who look up to me.
Absolutely.
So I cannot get out of shape.
Yes.
But in a way, it's helping me stay in shape. So
True.
दोनों side में मेरा ही फायदा है, you know. So that's the crux of being a fitness coach. And I think going forward, I would want to definitely have a lot of transformations nailed.
Yeah.
I've already had many transformations, and not physical transformations. I've had a lot of people who are in, what you can say, a depressed phase as well at a point of time. But once their body evolved and they started noticing the transformation, they started noticing physical changes in their body, their confidence level and all of that, improved. I've had people who are literally, you can say, quarantined at home for no reason.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go out, didn't want to talk to anybody because they were feeling that they are being judged. That has been taken off. I have had some young girls trained under me who would always feel that their family is body shaming them and they've already been judged by their weight and the way they look and all of that. But when they come to me, I tell them, I'm not going to be asking you how much you're losing, how much weight and all of that. Just be open to me. Just talk to me as a friend. I'm here just to guide you, and I will focus on the bigger picture, which is health, and not your shape and size and the number on the scale. So when you look beyond the scale, that is when the actual progress happens.
My God.
So looking forward for more transformations.
Absolutely.
And making more lives healthier and fitter.
Fitter and more power to you, Dr. Poonam.
Thank you so much.
Totally enjoyed this chat with you. And I know in the most effective way, you yourself have right now inspired so many of us, and I think we will continue in this journey just because you are in it so deeply involved कि अगर आप हमें इतना टाइम दे रहे तो हमें खुद के लिए उतना टाइम देना ही चाहिए.
I'm very, very happy to know this. I'm very happy to know this.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Dr. Poonam.